If I sound a bit sleepy for you, I'll try to make it more energetic because it's the last session, right? Clickety click. I would need some help with that. Yes. In the meantime, are there any people who would identify themselves as change agents here? Basically, you want to change organization. Yeah, okay, quite a few. Interesting. How could that be? It's an Agile conference. Yeah, so I've already been introduced. I've been a programmer, product owner, and a Scrum Master over 10 years in multiple organizations. And recently, what I've been doing is basically helping organizations change. And one thing I've figured out is attending folks' needs is actually really important for me. And we'll get to that. So I'm a change agent. Like so many of you around here, I want to change things. I want things to change for the better. I want to have organizations change to a better place, a more humane or effective place to work, which creates amazing products, right? So each time I'm hired at a new place, I get lots of energy from actually thinking, oh, wow, there will be so much changing to do, right? Stuff will just flow, and all that energy comes to a hard place sometimes. Anybody experience that, hitting yourself against concrete and not being able to move forward? Any people know that feeling? Yeah. For me, the feeling is frustration, right? I try to keep it positive. It burns calories. But yeah, they just don't get it, do they? Is that it, right? And in that thought process, I go to a place where I think about why the hell do I hit that concrete wall? And actually, is this a concrete wall or is it something completely different? Any ideas what that might be? Non-Newtonian fluid, right? That's actually a very simple thing. It's cornstarch with water. What happens with cornstarch and water, if in the right proportions, is when you hit it hard, it's as hard as concrete. But if you just grab it, it's very flexible, it's very elastic. So the more force you use against it, the harder it becomes. So what if the problem here is completely different? It's not about a concrete wall before me, but maybe it's a non-Newtonian fluid. Maybe there's just too much force, too much change trying to happen. And I think, how could I actually change that? What might be the issue with what I'm doing, right? Any ideas? The picture kind of suggests the communication. Yeah, that might be that. Telephone. Yeah, the telephone. It's along with emails, right? Still communication. That might be the hard part. That's one of my hypotheses I was working with. And I want to show you something, a bit of something. I'm a Trekkie, I'm a Star Trek fan. So I'd like you to look at this, and at the end, we'll figure out why I meant that to happen. Oh. Jira at Lunga.
Seems to be stating the proper names of individuals and locations. Yes, what does it all mean? I'm at a loss. Shaka, when the walls fell.
Yeah. Do you sometimes find yourself in situations like that? Why don't they get it? It's so obvious. And why I'd like to associate myself with Picard over there? More often, I feel like the Tamarian captain because I'm like, Knieberg at Spotify, Roser at Toyota, Flo at Toyota, right? So I'm describing individuals and locations to somebody who doesn't know about them. And at the end, it's like Shaka when the walls fell, right? I've hit the concrete again. Why? I try to explain the best I can, right? Those people just don't get it. Once again, they don't get it. And I've come, during my search for multiple other hypotheses, I've come to the idea of mindsets. What is a mindset? Because we sometimes talk of the agile mindset, but what is a mindset? I got the definition from Bob Marshall, who will be speaking next in the pink room. And he got it somehow, in a way, from Steve Denning, that a mindset is a set of ideas, beliefs, and assumptions which act together to reinforce themselves, right? So each of us has our own mindset. We say that agility is a mindset, but it's probably just one of the mindsets. Waterfall is another. It's a set of ideas, beliefs, assumptions, memes, a memeplex, a set of things which work together and makes themselves much harder to unroll. So what happens when two mindsets meet, right? So if the problem is mindsets, we have different mindsets, we talk in different ways, and understand different things after different words differently, right? So what kind of inspiration could I get from Star Trek? Any Trekkies in the room know that episode? Okay, there's at least one person who does. Perfect. So the solution from Star Trek, and listen carefully, it's very important, is to find an energy beast on the planet, beam down to the planet just with knives, fight it out together with the captain, and no, actually, that's kind of a violent solution. And if you know of any planets with energy beasts, I would be, interested to see how I could get there, right? So, no, that's not it. My solution is slightly different in a way that I figured out that what I need to do is figure out what the people on the other side need, to listen closer to the needs, to try to understand and attend to those needs of the people I'm working with, basically, right? Seek common goals. What do we have in common? What can we achieve together, basically, right? What also helped me a lot is 6 FAQs from Bob Marshall's organizational psychotherapy. Okay, so how can we motivate people? How can we change the organization's culture? How can we change the mindset of an organization? How can we get teams to take responsibility, get managers to trust their teams, and how can we develop the people? Any simple answers to that one? Those 6, actually. Easy. So basically, what can change the nature of a man? My personal answer to this, with the experience I have, is you can only change yourself, right? You can't change others, you can only change yourself. But by changing yourself, you change the world around you, basically. So the world is not as gloom as it might seem with all the walls of concrete coming up. Very often, whenever I find myself in times of trouble, I look inside. I try to figure out what in me causes the effects that I'm seeing, the concrete walls, right? How can I more effectively understand the needs of the people on the other side and actually make the side the same, make us on the same side? We still have like 5 minutes until the end of this. And I'm quite fast through the presentation, so I think what I would like to invite you to do with that time is basically to think for yourselves, what is your mindset? What is your fixed set of ideas and beliefs and assumptions which reinforce themselves, right? Think about that for a second. And think about how it might make it harder for other people to actually understand you. And if there are common goals to be achieved, how can it make it harder to communicate? That's the question I would like to leave you with right now. Thank you.